To you, Congressman, is that fair? Is that kind of the backdrop this week? It's like, all right, now let's figure out how. We know what we want to do. Let's figure out how to do it.
I think you just nailed it. At the end of the day, what President Trump has to do is something that we have not seen in our lifetime. We have a chance to be at one as a team, and it's going to be so important. I think the fact that we have such a small majority is a great opportunity because we're going to have to sit down and figure out how to do that. And once it becomes part of the way we think, muscle memory, then as we grow our party, that'll be much easier to get things accomplished. We have a tendency, of course, we're very individual, not collective. So having a chance to come together, be one. Only President Trump has the power, the respect, and I say there's a fear factor to make that happen. And he also has a mandate. So I'm excited about what we can do together, and coming together like this is going to help us out because we know we have to get this done for the American people, and we have to get it done quickly.
Yeah, that word's always tough to define. What is a mandate? What we do know is these slim majorities, right, that we've been talking about. The Senate's maybe a little bit more comfortable than over in the House, and especially with some of the factions that we've seen in the House over the years. So if we put up here about how the GOP is going to do it and the reconciliation process that we've heard talked about, and whether it's the extension of the tax cuts, whether it's energy policy, whether it's border policy, these things that have been talked about so much, how do you get those done? Is it to paraphrase the president, the one big beautiful bill, you know, or is it are you guys talking about something different?
Right now, we're going for the one big beautiful bill, and what it comes down to, you just listed a few of the things that we've been talking about. We're in a phase of what we call common sense. We want to get back to the basic idea of what we are as a country: safe, being able to project out, being innovative, building on meritocracy, all those things. And so, to make that happen, it means that as a team, we're going to have to give it a little bit. Everybody cannot get exactly what they want. For those who have just watching, see me talk for the first time, I played with the Raiders when they had an owner named Al Davis. Yeah. And Al Davis had the same type of culture about just winning. And he can get all these guys, different personalities that would not fit on any other team. We put our foot on the field and we're all one because we just wanted to win.
Just win, baby.
And that is really what President Trump. Just win, baby. Yeah. And once a Raider, always a Raider. That was his culture. That's what President Trump has right now. He has enough of a respect for the team, for the people, and a mandate that we now know we have to get done. Nobody wants to be on the outside of that. Yeah. So not only do we respect him and want to be part of his team, but we don't want, like with Al Davis, that we're on the outside of what will work for him to make things work. So
you don't
I think
see
because
factions emerging
as we do, we'll be okay.
Because that's the interesting part about this. Some factions within the party emerging that could clash. I mean, that's kind of the interesting part, right, of Trump coming back into power. There was this thinking that, the party is Trump, and we saw stories like that, which I get, which I think are probably partially true at least. Yeah. But you also see, we were just talking about the AI story, for example, different factions of kind of the movement within the Trump universe emerging. We got a kind of Elon Musk and a lot of these tech guys. I mean, Mark Andreessen used to be a Democrat. And then you have kind of the old school Trump folks, the MAGA folks, that represent a completely different kind of section of the party, and bringing those all that together, that's a challenge, right? That's not easy.
It is a challenge, but we've never had a president like President Trump. He's a power in itself, and he's coming together with a mandate. And here's the difference. We have a leader that we can trust. We have a leader that has been there. He's a business owner. He knows how to nuance it. What we have to do is also have faith in the fact that he loves our nation. And though we might not know all the different ways of getting through this process, if we trust the process and allow our team to come together, give up a little bit, we have to, because we're not going to be able to get everything we want with such a small majority. But we can get enough to make sure we're winning. And if we start winning, the American people see the benefits, then we're going to start building a much bigger majority and have a lot more latitude to move forward.
Our final things, we wait for the president there throughout, I don't know how much you'll tell me, but the sideline conversations, I'm sure, is a big part of a retreat like this. What's the issue that comes up the most? I mean, what's the priority within the conference? People talking more about immigration? Is it more extending the tax cuts? What do people bring up first?
I think the border, number one, safety, and that's what you see him coming out from the very beginning. We have to make sure this tax process goes through so we can make sure the American people are not paying more for that as time goes on. You put together all the stuff, the DEI coming out of our process, so we make sure that we're moving forward with merit as our focus. Mm-hmm. There is such a latitude of things we have to accomplish, and it's only because we've had a president for the last 4 years that has been clueless, and we have so much to make up for. So we're going to get it all together. The key is if we can put it together in one big, beautiful package, we'll build, again, the consensus to continue to move forward and trust each other to do bigger things as we move.
There's been a lot of talk about China. Are people worried about this deep seek thing we were talking about? This new is that a concern? And you think there's a kind of a trade war coming with China? What would you say about China?
Well, we were just talking to my colleagues about that, and this is why merit is so important. One thing about America, if we're putting merit first, we are the most innovative people in the history of mankind.
Yep.
So this is a good, somebody mentioned Sputnik. This is a great moment for us, because if we put ourselves in a position that we're not going to lose this, put the very best brains that we can, which we can do that, then we'll win this. And it's going to make us better, because we know that we cannot ease into this. We have to put the very best foot forward and know that we have has someone that's a country's trying to undermine and get there first. So I think this is good for us to know that we do have competition.
Okay. Could have been President Kennedy there saying we're going to go to the moon by the end of the decade, or maybe. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.